Hey everyone, I'm Tsunami. Welcome to my new video. This video is a cozy sketchbook session. I'm painting the first time with my recently compiled palette of my Rosa Gallery paints. I'm painting today in my Etch Lab Sketchbook with hot pressed cotton paper. The palette setup I did in a video for my wonderful patrons. A big thank you at this point. You are awesome. But if you like, you can also watch this video on my Patreon in paying like a little $3 tip for me, or you become a Patreon for $4 a month and get bonus content here and there. There's also a Discord server, news and stuff, and my honest gratitude out of my heart for supporting me. Thank you so much. So I started here with no plan at all. I just wanted to paint and to try my new palette. I started with a sketch from a girl surrounded by plants and a few nature spirit companions. This is my go-for motive right now. A girl, some cuties, and something nature themed. The next step was to pick a few colors for a limited palette. I never use all of the colors from my palettes. I pick mostly 4 of them. In this case, I ended up with 6 colors, which are a lot for my rate because I needed a stronger yellow in the end. I picked this awesome azure blue, olive green, Naples yellow light, carmine, violet black, and in the end, azo yellow. I love these colors together and what mixes you are able to get with them. Then I started with the background. This time I decided to spare all my characters out from color. Normally I would paint color all over the whole page and use the awesome patterns afterwards. But I liked it a lot like this. Also that I went step by step forward in wet on dry and not wet and wet, what I would normally do. Painting the background here was so much fun. It was very relaxing and I deeply fell in love with this azure blue, this blue-green color with black separations. It granulates fantastic. It's so beautiful and creates a super interesting texture. Watercolor is such a wonderful medium. How the colors flow randomly together creates the most beautiful effects. You can't plan things like that. I'm always happily surprised about the results I get. And especially on this piece here, I loved how the background looked after drying. If you are starting with watercolors, be careful that you let your layers dry completely, that the colors won't become muddy if you try to layer them. I'm a very impatient person. I also had to learn this. And sometimes I'm not patient enough, and then I mess my painting up a bit. You can avoid this in making yourself a cup of tea in the drying phases, or go on a little walk, or write your loved ones a message, or just using a hairdryer to fasten these processes up. In these leaves, I really wanted to have a bit of violet in the tips, and I was impatient to this time. I tried to drop them into the wet green on top, but this doesn't work so good. The color got muddy, so I decided to paint the green first, let it dry completely, and then go on top with a pinkish tone again. Normally, green and pink gets kind of muddy and mixed to a gray or something like a gray. It depends on what your color tones are. But in my head, it was possible, and in the end, it luckily worked quite good. Perhaps next time I'm using violet gouache on top. This also could look very nice. I've done this before on a spread. This was the last spread of an old sketchbook of mine. I can show you the piece here, and this looked so nice. Then the color, if you use gouache on top, can be more brilliant, but this is a sketchbook and sometimes I'm a bit lazy with my decisions, and this is okay for my sketchbook. I just wanted to tell you what possibilities you have. Working with mixed media is wonderful. You can often fix something or change your mind and use opaque medias on top if you like. For me, it gives me the freedom to just start and go with the flow, to enjoy the process and don't think too much. This is very relaxing for me. It calms down my very active brain, and I'm feeling joy in this painting process without any pressure. These cuties are overgrown with little plants and moss. They are the guardians of these plants with growing around there. And the girl is obviously very open to the energy of nature, so she can communicate with the spirits and the plants. I like to imagine little stories behind the artworks, so for me the piece gets a lot more deepness and soul on top. After using these Rosa Gallery paints for this artwork, I have to say I'm impressed how good they are. They have such a nice flow, and these are no pricey paints. I can recommend them on this point. What I still have to do is testing their light fastness. I will test my watercolors this year, all of them. I'm very curious. In my window there are already a few brands since August. I will check them soon and share it with you. Also acrylic markers from Arrtx, Mijello Gouache, Neocolor 2s, Arrtx watercolor pencils, Kuretake, Paul Rubens, Lightwish. Yeah, this will be interesting. I swatched all of the colors I used in this piece on my page here, that my future me knows if I like to paint a similar color scheme again, which colors I used. I think this always looks quite neat on these spreads to have them there. Here I used white gouache for the little flowers. I thought it could be cute to have also a few flowers in here. Where I live, spring is finally coming, and I waited so long for it. It's still very cold, but the sun shines again more often, and the first flowers are blooming. I've seen the first bees and bumblebees. This is pure joy for my heart. I'm a spring person. I can't wait to work in my little garden. I still have some seeds here which I haven't planted yet. I hope it's not too late. I will do it on the weekend, I think, when this video comes out. Hopefully. I got some gourd seeds, these ones which you can let dry after harvesting in fall and make nice crafting stuff with them. Calabasas, I don't know the right translation for it. I want to make some masks in my style or stuff like this, or little vases or creatures out of these gourds. I have lots of ideas and can't wait being creative with them. But first they have to grow, and the snails are very hungry every year. I hope we are able to harvest a few of them then. Then I used colored pencils to render everything out more, the face, the creatures and flowers, so everything will come together nicely in the end. I used a few Caran D'ache Luminance colored pencils and a few from Arrtx. This hot-pressed watercolor paper is perfect for using also colored pencils on top. This is why I mostly prefer the hot-pressed versions of the papers. Also on my need-to-do list is set up a palette with my most favorite and most used watercolors. This will be a palette which includes several brands, perhaps also a few gouaches, a palette perfect for my needs. If you are interested to join me, please tell me in the comments. I think about taking you with me in a video and share it with you. I think this could be fun. This sketchbook from Etcher is so good. I love to work in it. The paper has perfect quality. I can't use this sketchbook for everything. That means I don't use it for fast sketches and such things. I would have the feeling I'm wasting the pages. I'm using it only for watercolors and gouache and for painting sessions like this. And I luckily like almost every spread I filled in here until now. Now, after the sun came out again and spring arrived, my motivation is so much more bigger to start several projects. Like also my energy came back and I'm able to grow now again. With a bit of sunlight, chocolate and coffee and love as a fertilizer. Time to embrace the new year, finally. So we are almost at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my cozy sketchbook session. If you're still here, comment a flower emoji, then I know. And please don't forget to like this video, also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your support. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons, you are amazing. Then have an awesome week, my friends. See you next time. Yours, Tsunami.